Into It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face. Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption ever came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, 'cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment, 'cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break, where I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth.
I think I have this backpack assembled. So now let me grab the Latitude, plug it in, and take advantage of that huge 88 watt-hour battery. So theoretically, if I plug this into the laptop and then I fire up the fans, this will work. Oh, it works. There is fan action. Yes, I have a tiny bit of mist. I don't think this is gonna be any cooler than just the wind, but at least it works. It works. Now I gotta put it on. It's very loud. Okay. Oh. Theoretically, if I stand up right now, I will be mildly cooled all by my wonderful Dell laptop. Oh. Okay, here we go. Oh, up. I've done it. Goodbye. I'm gonna walk across the desert now. It helps if these fans are facing toward me. It's definitely just heavier and makes no difference. Dude, I think we gotta chill. Can we like stop and get something to eat? Like, I feel like I haven't eaten all day, and we still gotta make it all the way over there. I have some MREs. You have your choice. Do you want shredded beef and barbecue sauce? Or do you want elbow macaroni and tomato sauce?
Hey, those are in a bag, dude.
MREs.
They're in a bag.
Are you hungry? Do you want to eat, or do you want to just watch me eat? Have you ever had an MRE before?
This is an all-time low for me, Austin Evans. Oh no! Oh God! What is this? The bag is bleeding. This actually tastes like Chef Boyardee.
Maybe it is. You just put it in a different pouch.
Honestly, that's probably what they did.
Scale 1 to 10, how sunburnt are you right now?
Do you want the safe for camera answer
No.
or the no?
Not the non-safe for anyone answer.
My people were made for the sun.
Mine weren't.
Fair.
How long have we been out here? What, 10 hours now? So the sun's just going down? How long do you think we're gonna last tonight before we inevitably call Matt and give up?
How much macaroni do you have left?
That's the last one.
Do you have cell service?
No.
No? Wait, how are we gonna call Matt?
Well, the laptop, it has optional 5G, but that's not out yet. But it also has 4G.
Oh, it has 4G now.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll have service somewhere.
I'm getting tired of this macaroni.
I said the barbecue's actually, I'm like enjoying it the more I eat it. It just started out gross. I'm legitimately hungry, and then when I eat, I'm like, this is okay.
Sounds like working for Austin. That sums up my 4 years working for you.
All right, I'm gonna actually try to see if we have service. You know what? Do you want to take a guess at how much battery life I have right now? Without looking. 80%.
You can't tell me that when I've already seen it.
Dude, I've got 80% on this. I like edited.
10 hours we've been here.
Yeah, I don't have service. I think we're gonna have to walk farther to try to find service. Which way? Can you smell the internet? Which way is the internet? It's really dark. I can't see much anymore.
All right, things are starting to get a little bit bad. It is pitch black out here, the batteries on our lights are dying, and where we've run out of not only food, but most importantly, we've run out of water. Thankfully though, after walking for a while, it looks like we are finally able to get just a little bit of cell service. Let's go with that.
Wait, I know that.
All right, that's
Are you
all we
Skyping?
Matt,
Where have you guys been all day?
what do you mean, where have we been all day? We've been out in the desert shooting the Dell video.
To work.
Oh, you lost me, wow.
Oh, you're chopping out hella hard.
Oh, it's almost like I'm in the middle of the desert, hanging on to a tiny bar of service. Matt, I can't lose you, buddy. Come back to me, Matt. Come back to me. Can you please come get us?
Where are you?
We're at a dry lake bed in California somewhere.
All right, sounds good. I'll be right there to pick you guys up.
Matt, thank you. All right, we'll see you in like 4 hours.
Maybe like 6, 7.
It's okay. It's just Ken and I here. We're very lonely. So that, my friends, is our attempt to spend 24 hours in the desert. While we may have failed, the Dell Latitude 9510 didn't. So you can definitely be sure to check it out in the link in the description if you want a laptop that's far more durable and robust than we are. Matt's gonna be here like before the sun comes up, right? Hey guys, this is Austin. Today I'm running solo for one very simple reason. I want to do a little bit of a project. So this is a eBay laptop that I purchased recently, which in theory is actually a pretty good deal. So what I got this for is a little under $200, and it is an HP EliteBook. Now, not that long ago, this was a $1,000 plus laptop, but it came with a few issues. I don't believe it has Windows installed. So I figured what better to do on a boring Thursday morning than try to revive this laptop and see if I can actually get a solid system for only about 200 bucks. What's kind of funny about this is that I haven't done a video like this, or specifically a project like this, in a long time. So especially back in those early days when I was just starting on YouTube, I didn't really have a lot of money to work on projects. So when I did, it was always like a big deal. I remember 2012, 2013, I spent a lot of time building the ultimate iBook G. Was it G3 or G4? I think it was G3. And something like that was really fun for me. It was just like a cool idea to take an old piece of technology that I could actually afford and do something beyond just kind of like a standard review, right? I mean, when I was spending 100, 200 bucks on it, I wanted to load up like an SSD and all this kind of other stuff. You know, it was a different kind of time. This is kind of bringing me back right now. So I think I just have the laptop here. There's no power adapter, and I know at the very least there's no copy of Windows installed, supposedly. So maybe not in the greatest shape, although it actually does seem like it's aluminum. And it's got this kind of soft touch rubber back on the bottom. Probably needs a bit of a clean. It's kind of dirty. But the idea here is that this is a reasonably modern business laptop. I need to check, it has a Core M inside. I believe it's Skylake. Keyboard seems fine, the trackpad's a little bit on the small side. I think the first thing I need to do is see if I can find a power adapter actually. So it does have USB 3 as well as we have HDMI. The build seems decent. So I found an HP charger that I've used in the past. I think this should be the same barrel plug. Hey, we have life, excellent. So we've got the HP boot logo. Actually, yeah, I do want to see this started. Anytime you have a used laptop, usually you're getting a lot of sort of grime and stuff, especially if you're buying it directly from another person. Oh yeah, there actually are a fair few scratches on the outside. But it does seem like it's made out of aluminum, which is nice. Something kind of exciting about getting a new piece of hardware and really not having any idea of kind of what's going to work, what's going to be broken. I mean, it seems all pretty solid so far. I do actually really like this soft touch material. It feels nice. It's got a little bit of wear on it, but honestly, it's not that bad. So depending on what I find inside here, I actually might want to do some upgrades. I mean, I was assuming that I was going to have to spend some money on this just to get it up and running. If it's something as simple as just installing Windows, that's great. But if I've got like an old hard drive or something in here, I'd probably at least want to put an SSD in. So this is not a sponsored video in any way, but I actually legitimately do recommend these iFixit kits. If you're ever into tech, having stuff like, you know, a full set of screws, even the weird obscure ones, having some of the picks, the guitar picks, all the stuff that kind of helps you get into stuff, it's so easy. I mean, I don't even have to really think about it. It's a SanDisk X300 256 gig M2 drive. We also have a, I can't tell what wireless card that is, but it looks to be relatively modern. It is a fanless design because it is a Core M processor. And it's actually, I mean, it's pretty much all battery inside here. I mean, that's actually pretty impressive. Looks like the only slight issue I might have is that it does not have user accessible memory, so I can't upgrade the RAM. But as long as it does have 8 gigs, which I assume considering how modern the rest of the system is, it will, we should be just fine. So when it comes to installing Windows, there's actually a really simple tool that Microsoft provides that will allow you to make your own USB flash drive with a completely fresh and up-to-date copy of Windows 10. Now, I used to use one of the flash drives that I had purchased from like Amazon or Newegg or something, and that worked, but the problem was is that once you actually get the actual Windows installed, it will then have to go and do like a year of updates, which can take a long time, especially on lower end hardware. So when you use that Microsoft tool and grab a little flash drive like this, which I like because it has USB-A as well as USB-C, I know that I always have a fresh, up-to-date copy of Windows that I can throw on any computer I like. Okay, well that's a good sign, I guess. It should be booting from that USB drive right now. Like, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if the real issue here was just purely the fact that Windows had been nuked on this and no one knew how to like deal with it, I mean, that's awesome. And now, it's going to install Windows. So with any luck, we will have a fully working $200 or $190 system after Windows is done. I'm always just nervous when things seem to be going well because this is completely untested. Like, it could just totally crash and burn on me. But so far, it seems like I got a very nice, clean system, no real issues, and Windows seems to be installing fine, which if that was really the only problem, then lucky me. I got a system that's not a flaming pile of garbage. So with a fresh copy of Windows installed, what are we actually working with here? So inside we have, it looks like Broadwell, so it's an Core M5Y51, as well as we do have 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gig SSD, and we have, it's dual band and wireless, but at least we do have 5G.
$190. What do you think?
I mean, first of all, for $190, you're not going to get a screen that's better than this.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much my first impression. This trackpad, I'm hoping it's mobile. Scroll.
Drivers are not installed yet. It's
Okay,
literally a fresh copy. Like, a bunch of stuff is not working yet. Compared to all the $200-ish laptops we take a look at, this is pretty solid.
I mean, this probably already has a better SSD and more RAM.
Absolutely.
Than anything you'll get at $190.
So one of the main issues here was that I got this without it being tested and without having Windows installed. So it very easily could have been a total disaster.
Mileage may vary.
My mileage
Absolutely.
Always varies.
With used stuff that might also be vaguely broken, right?
Everything seems to work so far. It's not even in pretty good shape.
I see why you're using the mouse. I didn't even realize the mouse was here. I should have just...
At first, the trackpad was not working, and so I had to have the mouse to kind of
gotcha.
get it up and running.
I don't know. If HP was selling this for a couple $100, maybe like closer to 1,000 if I had to guess.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. I can't see the exact SKU, but
Right.
I believe this was about $1,100 when it was brand new.
Why would they include a trackpad that does not click?
It's a different time, man.
If you put like plastic wrap around this and had the box, I could have believed that it was brand new. Actually.
Look at the lid though. The lid has the scratches.
Oh yeah, I guess. But I mean, like that seems like normal wear and tear for what, like a 4-year-old laptop?
Yeah,
That's, I mean, oh yeah. Well, this is aluminum, isn't it?
it's all aluminum. Yeah.
It's great.
So for a laptop that's 4 years old, there's a lot that really jumps out to me. First of all, while yeah, the screen bezels are big, I mean, this is essentially a 13-inch laptop form factor that we would know today, just with that smaller 11.6-inch display. But the important thing is it's a high-quality panel, and it is a full 1080p resolution, which looks really nice and sharp. I mean, it's easy to forget that this was a business laptop, and back in the day, I mean, this is something that you would expect to spend a lot of money on, so it makes sense that it has a solid screen. So the next step is to test the performance. So with the Core M processor, I'm not expecting a lot, but we do have still a dual-core 5th gen processor, so it's not wildly out of date. I don't know, I feel like it'll stack up pretty well alongside a lot of the $200 to $250 laptops that you can typically get at this price point. So after getting drivers installed, there are a few things that jump out to me. First of all, the touchpad is better now. It's still not very good, and it definitely makes me kind of wish that we still had Windows Precision drivers for much more modern laptops because this just feels old, but it is somewhat usable. Also, something I didn't realize, this has a fingerprint sensor. Now, it's not quite the same as what we have today, so as opposed to a standard capacitive one where you just put your finger on it. Instead, you run your finger down it. But, I mean, hey, that's actually a really cool feature to have on a $190 laptop. Last, and definitely probably the most important, we can actually easily play This Is episodes because we have the power for it. The general system performance isn't bad. So importantly, we do have a pretty quick SSD, certainly not anything blazing fast by today's standards, but way, way better than any kind of hard drive or basic eMMC flash that you find on most budget laptops. Now, as far as that Core M5 or Core M5Y, whatever the thing is, the CPU is not quick, right? I mean, it's definitely, again, faster than what you're getting at the budget end of things, but like, it's probably the spot where this sort of does fall down a little bit. But because you have the 8 gigs of RAM, you have the reasonable CPU, and it's backed up with a pretty decently quick SSD, it is usable. Now, is this going to be the new main system for me? Probably not. But considering what we're able to get for the price, considering how little work we actually had to do to get this thing up and running, I am super, super happy. You're always taking a risk when it comes to buying something that's used, dealing with any kind of sort of somewhat sketchy hardware, and you can totally lose out, right? If you get something that looks amazing on paper and ends up being like a giant flaming pile of garbage because it has something blown or whatever, I mean, you're gonna have major issues. This is cool, and I'm really, really happy I did this project. It really kind of brings me back to the old days of before Ken was here. Hey guys, this is Austin. This is the RTX 2080 Ti liquid-cooled Thunderbolt gaming box. Now I have 3 questions. First of all, what exactly is the point of pairing the most powerful consumer graphics card available in a Thunderbolt enclosure? My second question is, does it make any sense whatsoever? I mean, you have the bottleneck of Thunderbolt, you have the bottleneck of whatever thin and light laptop you connect it to. And finally, and probably most importantly of all, is this worth the massive $1,500 price tag? Let's find out, shall we? So up front, we have a USB 3.0 port, and if we flip around to the back, we actually have a pretty decent selection of ports, including all of the graphics outputs. We have Type-C, Thunderbolt, USB, as well as Ethernet. This is a very weird concept because on one hand, you have an RTX 2080 Ti, you have the ridiculous overkill capabilities of what you're going to get out of water cooling, so realistically, you should be overclocking it. But on the other hand, you have the limitations of Thunderbolt. Now, they do have what seems to be a pretty decent liquid cooling setup here. So we have a 240 mil radiator on the top and a water block over the GPU itself as well as the VRM. I mean, you've got the dual 120 mil fans, which are exhausting straight out the top. It has a dedicated 450 watt power supply right down here. I mean, this looks like a pretty solid gaming setup. I guess there's only one way to find out. So for testing, we'll be taking advantage of my daily driver, a 2019 Dell XPS 13 2-in-1 with 10th gen Core i7, as well as importantly Thunderbolt. As when you're using one of these GPUs, you need Thunderbolt 3 built into your laptop or desktop or whatever. Now another reason why I'm using the XPS 13 is I think this is sort of the sweet spot. So obviously there are much beefier, much more powerful gaming laptops that do take advantage of Thunderbolt. However, if you've got something that thick and that bulky, you probably already have a decent GPU anyway. Whereas this, while the integrated graphics are fine, they're certainly not up to hardcore gaming, which is where this supposedly will come in huge handy. Huge handy.
Huge handy. I don't like that one. That's something you have to pay for. I'm sorry.
Hey, we pay $1,500 for a GPU, you get a huge handy. Battlefield not particularly happy with this monitor right now. It is freaking out really hard on this display. Ah, damn it. Nothing works. So, one slight issue that we've had is that it does not like running on the internal display. So I just disabled the internal display, but Battlefield doesn't understand that I have 2 screens connected. Because generally speaking with Thunderbolt, you don't want to run with the internal display on because it's soaking up your bandwidth. Can I please kick it over? Oh, look at that. Okay. This is not respecting me at all right now.
How's tech support in the forest?
I don't think this is necessarily the gaming box's fault. This is just a matter of Thunderbolt and this XPS are really not agreeing. It just doesn't understand how to deal with this monitor.
Do you think another Thunderbolt laptop would work?
Maybe. So it's another day, and surprise, surprise, switching to the Razer Blade, a laptop which is actually designed to work with an external GPU, is working flawlessly. So the setup is exactly the same as it was yesterday. So we have the Blade, the screen is turned off to get the maximum performance. Now let's see if this actually works. Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, we're up and running with a very cinematic 23 FPS. So I am not particularly surprised, considering that we are running it literally with everything completely maxed out. Let me bring a couple settings down to something reasonable and see what we get. Oh, look at that. Literally just by turning my ray tracing from ultra to medium, we went from 20 to 40 FPS. I mean, you can see it looks incredible. This is definitely a scenario in which we're getting some real performance out of the 2080 Ti. So next up we have GTA 5. Now this might not seem like a really obvious choice. However, it's actually still a pretty good game to test, specifically DirectX 11, and very specifically CPU usage. So this is a game which, once you crank it up, can still actually be fairly demanding. So this is mostly max settings at 4K. So we're in like the mid 30s right now. Now we can certainly turn the settings down, but I actually think this is where we're starting to run into some bottlenecking. So even though the Razer Blade is still a fairly powerful laptop, it's still using a mobile chip, which means that while it'll boost up to a fairly high clock speed, over time, as you're hitting it with a pretty sustained load, that clock speed will start to drop, which will start to hurt our performance. This is fine, and we can very easily turn the settings down just a little bit and probably be well above 60 FPS. But I do think this is probably the first real example of a game which is starting to run, not necessarily badly, but this is nowhere near what I would expect a 2080 Ti to do if it had a better CPU and wasn't being bottlenecked by Thunderbolt. So for reference, I have the same graphics card paired with a Core i7-9700K, getting 12,750 points in the TimeSpy test. Now we're not going to hit that. I'm curious to see exactly how close we are, obviously with whatever bottlenecks that exist. CPU, I think, is definitely going to be one of them. Okay, and our score is, ooh, 9,600. Okay, so that's not terrible, but we are certainly losing performance not only on the CPU score, but specifically even the graphics score is a little bit down than what I would, compared to what I would expect. For reference though, that is still over 3 times more powerful than the GTX 1650, which is inside this laptop. So there's no doubt that we're getting a huge performance gain. It's just that a water-cooled 2080 Ti is obviously going to be bottlenecked running over Thunderbolt. Now what I'm curious about is if we actually start overclocking it, can we get that much higher? Or are we just fundamentally limited by the setup that we have here? Let's see. So Gigabyte does offer some software that will supposedly auto-scan for a GPU boost. I don't know exactly how good this is going to be. I assume not great, but let's see what we can actually get.
You see, what I would do is get it to like whatever the slider lets you go to, and work it down.
Is that the school of Ken overclocking? Crank it up to 11, figure it out later?
Yeah.
Or you could go maximum at all times. So wait, no, that's dumb. Because if I have it set to this, it only goes to a higher clock speed when it gets hotter. Fan speed is fine, GPU voltage will not let me unlock. Oh, I can unlock, okay, cool, yeah. Give me 100 more. I'll leave memory alone, and I'll do manual GPU boost of all the way. No, I'm not gonna, it's not gonna work if I do it all the way.
Why not?
Why not? It's just not gonna work.
You'll never find out. You'll never know if you don't do it.
Why do I let you talk me into these dumb things? All right. Wow, Ken, I can't believe that didn't work. No way.
As Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
How is that a shot? You crank something up to 1,000,000 and it doesn't work, the end. Like, that's not.
Have the most powerful laptop on the face of the planet.
Okay, I'm just gonna restart the whole system now. Okay, so we have now done the auto overclocking tool with the 2080 Ti. I did manually bump up not only the power limit, but also the GPU temperature. And let's see what we've got. So again, for reference, before we overclocked, we had a score of 9,628. Let's see if this actually made a difference or whether our water cooling is not useful. Suspense is real. Ooh, that's very slightly better. So 10,072. Look, if I'm gonna be real for a second, this actually is pretty impressive. So we're getting most of the performance out of our 2080 Ti using Thunderbolt, and you have to consider that there are 2 major bottlenecks. So first of all is the Thunderbolt 3 port. Now while yes, it's quite fast, you're still only getting about 1/4 of the bandwidth of using a PCI slot on a desktop motherboard. It's not the end of the world, but it does hurt performance. But probably our biggest bottleneck here is the mobile Core i7 inside this laptop. Now don't get me wrong, the Blade Stealth is a very nice laptop and you do get a lot of power for a 13-inch laptop. But at the end of the day, you have severe thermal limitations and power restraints compared to a full desktop. So if I was using a Core i7 on a desktop, I could easily tune it to go well over 100 watts of power, lots of cores, lots of clock speed. But on a laptop, you're really limited. I mean, we're realistically using like, what, 1/5 that power budget, and it can't boost anywhere near as high. And when you combine those two, it totally makes sense that we're losing some performance. But 20% based on all of that is actually not too far to drop. However, I have one more thing I want to try. So this is the Aorus 2070 gaming box. So they actually make a couple of these. So this is the one that I think is probably the best bet for most people, or at least that was my assumption before starting this video. As essentially what you get here is still a very high-end graphics card, but it is significantly cheaper. So that's actually one of the things that I haven't really touched on too much. $1,500 for a RTX 2080 Ti gaming box sounds excessive and extreme, but when you actually start looking at it, it's not a bad value. So the 2080 Ti, if you just want to buy that graphics card, is $1,200. So you consider that the extra $300 goes into the enclosure, all the Thunderbolt peripherals, as well as stuff like the Ethernet and the USB. You also have water cooling, RGB. That's not cheap. And when you consider that Razer is one of the companies who makes a lot of these gaming enclosures, these GPU enclosures, they're charging usually about $300 for it by itself. This is actually a pretty respectable deal. My real question here is that while this is good, should you just save yourself a few $100s and buy something that's not quite as powerful? I think that might actually be a pretty smart move. So now we have the RTX 2070 gaming box connected. The nice thing is they all use the exact same cables and drivers were all set up, so it's literally just a plug and play kind of thing. So again, for reference, the 2080 Ti got 9,628, whereas the 2070 got 7,117. So essentially, the pricing difference is almost double. So this is about $800 versus $1,500 for the 2080 Ti. So right now, while yes, the 2070 is, what, 25% off, it actually isn't wildly off of a normal RTX 2070. So while, yes, this is cheaper, so we're looking at an $800 GPU enclosure as opposed to a $1,500 one, you're not sort of seeing that doubling of performance by any stretch. This is a lot smaller, it's cheaper. I would argue it's better for most people. However, the real question here is not so much, is this a practical good idea to spend this much money, but rather, should you buy an RTX 2080 Ti and push it to the absolute limit, not counting your overclock, but like something a little bit more grand than that. So this is the culmination of our Thunderbolt setup. So we have 3 4K displays, all being powered by the RTX 2080 Ti, as well as that Razer Blade, which is connected with the single Thunderbolt cable. Or at least that's what I'd like to tell you. So yes, this setup is currently running on our 2080 Ti Thunderbolt gaming box, but the issue is, well, nothing really wants to work well together. And actually, I will say that has really nothing to do with the Thunderbolt side, much more to do with the fact that between our TVs, our cables and adapters going into the 2080 Ti, as well as Windows and the NVIDIA software fighting, we've had a real issue trying to get any of this stuff actually up to full resolution. So it is currently playable. You can see I have the wheel up and running, but I did have to turn the resolution down to 3840 by 960. Now, performance, no problem with that resolution, but it doesn't look anywhere near as sharp as it should across 3 4K displays. Realistically, this is the upper limit of what anyone would really be doing with Thunderbolt. Well, yes, this is a perfectly reasonable gaming setup. There are a lot of issues. The way I would really prefer to do this is if I was using 3 gaming monitors instead of the TVs. While the TVs work, there's too many issues with the adapters we have to get over to HDMI for this to be a viable setup. But it does do a good job of showing off that while yes, we're losing a little bit of performance compared to a 2080 Ti and like a full dedicated gaming PC, even something like this is totally usable. Certainly we're running on a 13-inch thin and light laptop. Also, I'm really, really trying hard not to crash right now, and it's not easy. No. Oh, it's so hard, man.
So, I don't know why I'm playing this game.
What? What do you mean you don't know why?
I just got brought into maybe play better or worse than Austin.
I
will find out.
I have a lot of faith in you, my friend.
You probably shouldn't, but.
All right, well, let's see what you got. What are you doing? Shift faster. You're gonna blow your motor. You only get 4 of those a year.
Do you really?
Yeah. Can you need ABS?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And traction control.
And traction control. Oh, and I died. I died.
So, Ken, would you like to sum up your experiences as a world-class Formula One driver?
Yeah. I am very bad at it. Oh,
No!
and it crashed.
No!
Oh.
No!
Well.
My beautiful racing setup!
Oh, and it just shut off.
Wait, the game crashed. Wait, no, the computer's fine. The game just crashed. It couldn't handle our excellent Formula One driving capabilities. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video all about this ridiculous gaming box. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until next time, Ken and I are going to Monaco.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Are you gonna just film us for the next hour as we die?
50 seconds for next one.
We're done. We're done.
Posted, Matt!
Hey guys, this is Austin, and today we're about to make some mistakes, aren't we, Jake?
We are. This whole thing was a mistake.
I regret it already, because today we are going to not only be building a gaming PC together, but we are going to be eating hot wings at the same time. Not just any hot wings. This is some hot wings. I mean, is that copyrighted?
Every 5 minutes, you're gonna have a hotter wing, and then a hotter wing.
So because we're professionals, we'll have the entire PC built in 10 minutes, and it won't be a problem, right, Jake?
Yeah, we got this. Yeah. Yep.
You don't even sound confident.
Just so you know, the clock starts right now.
So just I know it's the clock started, Matt.
Fine. We're not in a
However,
rush.
my goal is to never drink any of those things.
Okay.
And also, I do want to, out of morbid curiosity, try the hottest one.
Well, let's not do it on purpose. Let's win,
Oh, yeah,
and then
we
we'll
wanna
try
win.
it in victory.
We're gonna win. I'm also
Alright.
terrible with spicy things.
Okay, well, cheers. This is 300
This is so
Scovilles.
wet.
This is very wet. This is fun. This is not spicy, Matt.
That one is
Banana pepper?
banana pepper.
Yeah. I get hints of banana pepper.
Record, you have another wing in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Oh.
I wanted to pretend that it was heavy, but it's not because I'm so strong.
I mean, obviously.
How's that camera angle doing? Probably not great.
Great.
Oh, you're doing it. Do you need help?
Nope. You did it! Yeah.
Austin did it, guys. He did it, guys.
This might not be a good sign. My lips are actually a little bit spicy right now.
Really?
Just a tiny bit,
Well,
yeah.
you know what might help? If you rub that spiciness off on like Ken's lips.
No.
Ken, take one for the team. What's this one?
It's 1500, so that's
1500.
significantly hotter.
I can't wait.
Okay, that's not so bad.
This one is, I would say, comparable to the first.
I'm getting a little bit more spice on this one. A little bit more. All right. X570 AORS Master, pretty high-end board. We are taking advantage of Ryzen, which I have it right here.
Oh, nice.
Pre-opened because I thought ahead. So this is the Ryzen.
Is it because you thought ahead? Or is it because it's from a previous build? Out of curiosity, I have no prior
Are you trying
knowledge.
to insinuate that I have recycled some parts from some previous project for some nefarious reason? How dare you?
But no, I think this is going to be a really great PlayStation, as one might say. Tell me more about this board and this processor.
So if you watched our Building the PS5 video, you might recognize some of these things that I'm shamelessly
'Cause
recycling.
I'm a super fan.
So this is the Ryzen
Smash
7
that like button.
3700X. I'll let you just install that. Go ahead. I'll let you do the honors on that one.
Oh, thank you. And then I push this down
Yep.
until it snaps.
There we go.
Boom.
Perfect. Jake.
Seated.
knows
That's what we
exact-
call in the tech biz, is seat, right?
Yeah, actually, that is true. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm just gonna put our RAM in. Just to do the thermal paste application.
Oh yeah, okay. Do we like doing like the rice?
I want you to make a giant X on it and make as much thermal paste as possible. No. Yes, a grain of rice is exactly the way to do it.
Grain of rice? It's like a long grain.
It's art. It'll be extra cool.
It's
It's
a
fine.
Jackson Pollock.
So here is your next set of wings.
17,000?
17,000.
How's it smell? Ooh,
That's a
yeah,
little
that's nice.
spicier. All right.
I like it.
Cheers, my friend.
Oh, cheers, buddy.
That's really wet.
Not bad.
These are actually pretty tasty wings. Good job, Matt.
Yes.
You make great wings, Matt.
There's a little spice to that one, though. Ooh,
Is this when I find out that you're whiter than I am?
that's not possible. Next, let's start putting stuff in the case.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, I lied.
So close.
You need our SSD?
Oh yes, I've heard this is a very fast SSD.
It is. So it's a PCI Gen 4 2 terabyte SSD. So it's another AORS product, but essentially, actually, you can go right here.
Oh, right there.
It's a 2 terabyte SSD. You could put everything on
Oh,
that.
it's 2 terabyte.
2 terabytes.
I was not listening when that happened.
Yes,
Did you say that earlier?
I did.
Where am I?
Flashback.
Did I black out?
2 terabytes. The cool thing is, though, we still have tons of SATA ports
I
and.
have like Vietnam footage.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Okay, end scene.
Cool. Anyway,
Keep going.
sorry. Anyway, so tons of storage. with that, we can actually start mounting this into our case.
Oh, this is so nice. The standoff's already
Stand-ups
there.
are already in. So again,
Did you
most
prep
of-
this?
No, this is actually the way the case came.
Oh, really?
Yes. Another thing is the IO shield is already attached to the motherboard. Again, it's built in, right?
You didn't do this?
I didn't touch it. Look, it's like literally, it's
Is this how?
screwed in.
I mean, it's literally been 3 years since I built a computer, and is this how far it's come?
when it comes to higher end systems, yeah, that's actually starting to become a thing.
Oh, I like how you kind of threw in there that I didn't build high-end systems when I was building computers. In the higher-end system game, the Wi-Fi comes baked into the motherboard.
Is that 30,000? Oh,
30,000 Scovilles.
I can do that. Look at us. Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Wow. It's quite impressive. Jake, we haven't been this close since you cut my head off.
I just want no more context than just that.
I mean, you can check out the new episode.
When I
of Pictures About the
circumcised him.
Movie.
What?
See, I was just gonna give you a shout out. We can't use that anymore. You just ruined the shout out.
You said the S word earlier. I can't say circumcised. It's a medical procedure.
Already? We didn't even get anything done.
I screwed in something.
Number 5.
50,000.
Dip it a little bit more so you get a little bit of that flavor. You want to go to Flavor Town, Austin?
I do
Got a
not.
one-way ticket, baby.
I want nothing to do with Flavortown at all. Alright.
That's fine. More vinegary.
It was very vinegary. Ooh, it's a little spicy though. I'm definitely tasting the spice on that one.
Okay, another screws in. This is, well, but they call them like 6.
It's at least 6.
Let me read the back of the box.
Oh, wait, no.
Let me take some time.
Put the thing in.
No, I'm reading the back of the box. Because now you've questioned me.
What is that?
Whoa!
Did you say it's 250,000? Alright, let's just get this over with. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
It's actually delicious, but Oh, it does. Oh, I hate it. It's going down. Oh.
Before coming here, I shaved right there a little bit. So it's a little irritated, and I got some of the hot sauce in my little shave spot. But besides that, it was fun. Okay, we feeling good?
Nope.
Feeling good?
Nope.
You pumped?
Okay, let's go.
I'm pumped. But we need to find out how many cores this has.
No, you don't. Just put this thing in.
Oh,
Get
they
away.
vacuum sealed it. This is gonna take a little bit.
Oh, the spicy is kicking in. The spice is kicking in. I am not happy right now.
Oh, good. There's a graphics card guide. This will
I'm
tell
just
me.
gonna start cabling it. No,
This will tell me how many cores.
Wait. God.
Oh.
I got to plug in all my modular connectors and I screwed it in.
Unfortunately, this doesn't tell you. Here, let me just briefly look up on my Galaxy Note 10 Plus.
Jake,
How many,
I'm gonna delete your.
Here we go. So the 2060 Super offers 6 gigaраys, NVIDIA's term for counting ray tracing speed. So when I said 6, I seem to have been correct. So there you go, 6 gigaраys, guys.
So you get to eat my next wing?
No, I don't think that's how it works.
You eat his next wing because he got it right.
It also has,
That's not true. He said cores. That's like saying that like my 4-core processor
He was
is.
vague enough that he was right.
How dare you?
and that's how you make science videos. You're vague enough until you're right. Okay, let me put this in.
I'm gonna unsubscribe and delete your channel.
This here, number 7.
Oh, 600K.
600K.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Oh, I guess I won't throw that away just yet.
Oh, that's not good. I got sauce on my lips. If I do it like this, I have to use my tongue.
So, back to the CPU. It is getting pretty spicy. I'm gonna be honest. Now it's hitting me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, here we go. How did
Why do we do this?
I can't, you put it in. Put it in! Okay.
Give it to me.
Yeah, give it to me. Do you have it?
Just no, I don't have it. Give it.
Take it. Take it. Take it.
I'm not fighting anymore. Just give it to me, Jake.
I'm giving it to you, man.
We're touching fingers now. You're pushing it too far in.
Oh, look at that. There's a hole.
You missed the hole. Matt, no.
Oh, 1 million.
We got nothing done.
I got some. I pulled some cables through. Okay, here we go.
It sucks. That was bad.
Building computers, I love it. Let's go. All right, here we go. What needs? You didn't even put the CPU plug in, you pathetic. You're not pathetic.
I just blew my nose with the same thing I used to wipe my hands. That was a bad idea. Oh God. I got it in my nose.
Austin! Put the heck in. Okay, I'll do it.
Here, lay down, lay down, lay
No,
down.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Put him in.
USB 3 going in. Can you plug in the power supply? To the
Get the other one in. Oh, fudge. Come on. Come on, you Chini Alfredo. Get in there. Oh, I got it.
Yes!
Ah!
All right, don't celebrate. Don't celebrate. Where's the? Yeah. Where's the
My lips are
screwdriver? Where's the screwdriver?
I don't know, man. You were using it. Matt, no!
1.4 million? How did we get to
4 million.
How did we get to number 9? Here, I'm dropping it off for you. Here, go.
Oh, that's for me? Thank you so much. How is it?
So why is that screen?
Oh, it's terrible.
This is a
What the Matt?
this is a Trinidad Butch Tea Scorpion pepper.
Trinidad. You, Trinidad.
This is the worst thing I've ever done for a video. I'm not playing right now.
I'm gonna remind you that you set these rules.
All right, we're almost done. We got it. I need the monitor. I need the monitor. Okay, he just needs to post. Jake, he just needs to post, and we're done. All right. Here, take it.
Oh, it's even worse when it comes
Take
up
it,
and out of
take
your
it.
bucket. What is the time, Matt? I will murder you. What is the time?
20 seconds.
Oh!
It's okay, it's okay.
Where's it gonna-
Give me a screwdriver. Give me a screwdriver. Give me a screwdriver. Screwdriver. I'll jump it.
Woo-saw! Woo-saw!
Yes! Yes!
Is it posting?
So this doesn't look very cable managed.
How dare you?
We got some cables hanging out here. The sides aren't on. I don't see anything on the screen.
Give it a second. It's fine. Still posting.
So fortunately, it did not post in time.
It's posting.
Rules!
And
Rules!
so it's
Oh! It posted! It posted!
cool. It only gets done at roughly 15
He's fair. He's true. He's right.
So if we win.
Cheers, buddy.
No. Dab it off as much as possible and start cheating. It's the way the rules are meant to be written.
That's not what they mean by the last dab.
Cheers. Where's our bucket?
Get on that because in another minute and a half, you're gonna have another one. Clean it.
Bucket's over there.
I'm never doing this again. Give me the milk.
I mean, that's pretty clean, right?
That was great. Jake's good at this.
Should I spit my spit out?
I'm just letting it run out.
I don't have to do it with my hands.
No, the computer. So, ladies, you wanna go out with me?
All right, Jake. You take this computer home.
No! Thank you so much. Subscribe to Austin Evans for more Austin Evans if you like tech. If you just like having a good time and hanging out with your pal, Austin's the one that you got. I mean, there's lots of choices. So maybe look at them too.
Yeah.
But there's also Austin. If you want to watch videos that explore the science of movies and see Austin get decapitated, I would recommend going to Vsauce 3. That's my channel. There's a show called Could You Survive the Movies? The episode is called Could You Survive Alien?
He cut my head off. It was fun. I can't talk.
And as always, thanks for watching.
We're not doing this ever
I
again.
don't know if I'm gonna cry.
Can we put a do not try this at home warning? These two. In fact, actually, if you look really closely, you'll see these little asterisks beside B2 and A2. These are the preferred memory slots. Drop it in the slot, and then 3, 2, 1, push, and there is RAM installed. Look at that. We're like halfway there. Don't worry about the other. Look, we're almost there. We're almost there. And the next one's even easier. It's our SSD. So, installing this SSD is very straightforward. So you can see it's tiny. It's literally like the size of like a stick of gum. Now, to install it's very straightforward, but you do need to keep in mind that we need a little bit of hardware from the motherboard box, which I don't, did I get out? Yes, I did. Okay,
So, it's really easy to lose this. You see this tiny little screw in the little adapter? This is what we need to install our SSD. So for this, it does help if you have a little bit of a finer Phillips head screw just because it's really small. But essentially what we need to do is install the little, what do you call it? It's like I just call it like the nub, like the little screw guy. So because this is a 2280 SSD, the vast majority of SSDs that you will be using are 2280. So you just install this finger tight. And there we go. And now, to install the SSD, it's literally gonna take us like 3 seconds. So we line it up with the little slot. So I usually put it in with a little bit of an angle, kind of work it in to make sure it actually slides. So there we go. The next step is to take our SSD screw out, and then just literally lean it down, use the little screw to screw it into place to make sure it doesn't pop out of the socket. And oh look, we installed our SSD in literally like 18 seconds. That's it. So now it is time to bring back our case, and now we have to just install the motherboard. Now, something that will very much vary between your cases is how you actually do this, and specifically which standoffs you use. So if I flip this guy over, what you'll see is there are a series of little brass standoffs. So these are painted black, sometimes they're actually gold. You can see there's standoffs on the top. There are also some standoffs in the middle, and especially this NZXT case has a little post here. This is really nice because it'll help us line it up. There are also some standoffs on the bottom. The important thing here to know is that it's actually very straightforward to install this. The only thing we need to do before actually installing the motherboard is put in our I/O shield. Now this came with the motherboard, and essentially, once you open it up here, it just slides into the back of the case. So you'll see here that this is where your ports will surface, and you just want to make sure that this case is, or this little shield is here to make sure that, I don't know, it looks nice. So this actually is a little bit of an annoying thing because essentially you have to just kind of push it until it clicks. So I usually kind of work the corners until I see it not want to jump out of my hands. Click for me. Click for me. Hey! So now, all we need to do is put our motherboard into our case. Now again, because I'm using this NZXT case, I've got that little post in the middle. So as long as I get it kind of roughly lined up, perfect, love it. And then if we can get it on the peg here, which we can, boom, look at that. Motherboard's in place. Now we just need to screw it in with like 300 screws that are helpfully labeled in our NZXT little baggie. And this will be very close to done. Surprise, surprise, the way to do this best, and I'm sure you can't see this at all on camera, is using the cross method. So just start with one corner, get it screwed in, then go to the next corner, and kind of work your way around to make sure that, again, you're applying even pressure. And with that, we have a motherboard installed into our case. So if you flip it upside down or right side up, it doesn't all come crashing out. And we're actually getting pretty close. The next step is to install the graphics card, which we so helpfully have right behind the case. It's almost like I planned it out like that. Look at that. This is our PCI connector. So this is what will attach the graphics card to the motherboard, which will go into this slot right here. And then if we look around on the back side of the card, you'll see that we have a single 8-pin power connector. So with the help of our little video light, so you can actually see what's going on, the next thing we need to do is actually install that graphics card. So you'll see right here our PCI slot. The only thing we really need to do is take a look at that, and you'll see it corresponds to these little metal connectors here. So these PCI slot covers we just need to remove based on where the motherboard and the graphics card sit. So all we need to do is just remove this little cover on the back. So not all cases actually use this, although it's becoming a more popular thing. And wow, what jacked up robot cranked the screw in. Holy balls. So we'll remove this little piece. And the next step is to remove these top 2 screws, which should be pretty easy. Now, when it comes to installing a graphics card, this is a very difficult process, which is going to require a lot of concentration. I'm just kidding. You just literally line it up and push it in. It's really easy. So just line up with a slot, click it, boom, done. Look at that. Now I'll use my giant screwdriver to put this little PCI cover back in place. And we're next going to jump into cable management. Oh boy, the least favorite part of any PC build. So one thing I am gonna do is, because this already has the cables sort of pre-run for the fans, I'm going to plug these in first. Just because if I don't do them first, I'm burying them and I won't be able to touch them again. So one of our fans is actually perfectly sized to fit into this channel fan right here. That's actually either really good engineering or really lucky. Now, just like when we plugged in our CPU, these fans that are up top and on the back, they are notched, so they're only going to go in one way. These are 3-pin as opposed to 4-pin, but it doesn't make a difference. There's only one way to plug them in. So you see we have a little bit of extra slack. However, I'm just gonna pull that around back right now, and we will forget that that exists, or deal with it later. Whichever one I feel like. So I just plugged in the 20+4-pin, the really big guy, and oh, I'm so happy right now, because look at this little cable channel. all I have to do is just wrap it around here, go straight down, and that's it. Once I'm done with everything, I'll Velcro it in. This is making my life easy. So you can see right back here, I plugged in the 4+4-pin CPU power connector. Now it's a little bit of a tight fit, especially in this specific case. However, I've run the cable up on the top. Basically, just keep in mind that as with most of these connectors, there's a little notch on it, so it's only going to go in one way. Next up, we have our 8-pin PCI power connector. Now because this only needs the one, we have the extra lead. We'll just deal with that later. We'll just like cable tie it up. But again, we'll just line it up, click it into place, and that's it. Okay, so we have a few different cables coming from the case itself. So we have a USB 3.0 lead. This is annoying because it will get stuck and you can easily break it, so just be careful. We also have our audio, so this is for our front panel audio. And what I'm really excited for are front panel connectors. So these are PCI power connector. Now because this only needs the one, we have the extra lead. We'll just deal with that later. We'll just like cable tie it up. But again, just line it up, click it into place, and that's it. Okay, so we have a few different cables coming from the case itself. So we have a USB.
It's all about humanity.